Hello, welcome to today's video. This is going to be awesome. I got another battery to try out. So we are going to be putting a Weize 48-volt battery in this 2003 golf cart. We just got done putting the solar panel on here. I beefed up all of the uprights. These were all aluminum. Now they're all steel. This is going to be a heck of a good ride. So this is going to be a two-part video. The first part is going to be the installation of the battery, and the second video is going to be real-world testing, where we're going to drive this golf cart with the Weize battery all over the desert, all over the mountains, and see what it can actually do. So I like to do real-world testing on batteries and drive all over the mountains, and Weize is actually the first battery manufacturer that sent me out a battery and requested a real-world testing video. So we're going to make that video after this one. Well, let's open up the box and see what we have inside. There's our instructional manual, battery charger. Oh, I like that. They got these connections on there. Yeah, nice. Okay, nice big screws. Wow, look at that display screen. That is a lot smaller than a lot of the other batteries I've used. I like that. Compact. It's got lift handles. Glad to see those. A lot of these ones in plastic cases don't have a lift handle. That is pretty compact for 48 volt, I've got to say. Now this one is Bluetooth. I do like a Bluetooth battery. Continuous 200 amp, that's what you like to see. That's what you're going to use when you're climbing up the mountains. 400 for 35 seconds. Wow, that's good. 600 for 5 seconds. 5 seconds of really tearing them tires up. Let's see how much this bad boy weighs. Look at that. 80.5 pounds. That is crazy. So this is the lightest 48 volt battery I have ever tried. I have a 36 volt battery that weighs 65 pounds in my E-Z-Go. Typically they're right close to 100 pounds. So that's awesome. So your high quality, expensive lead acid batteries weigh 65 pounds per battery. Your cheaper ones are 50 pounds per battery. So you're running between 300 to 400 pounds of lead acid in golf carts. So this right here is going to replace that with just 80 pounds. You're dropping so much weight that makes your golf cart so light. And some golf carts is actually kind of bad because the suspension's made for that kind of weight, so it rides really rough, but most of them it works just fine. But this definitely makes so you can climb mountains way faster. Two reasons: you dropped a bunch of weight and you also got more power coming out. The voltage stays pretty steady as it discharges, but your lead acid, the voltage drops like this. I've had my lead acid batteries go clear down to I think like 12 volts on a 36 volt system climbing a mountain, where this is just going to stay right there, even when you're down to 0%. Let's measure this thing. Yeah, you got like 10.5 inches this way. Wow. 19.5 this way. That's going to be so easy to fit this in a club car. 8 3/4 tall. Yeah. So club car are a lot harder to fit a lithium battery in because of the batteries actually kind of sit around the frame. E-Z-Gos are a lot easier. They have a big open area. You can fit about any size battery in those. So I want to talk about how impressive a 200 amp continuous BMS is that this battery has. As you can see here, I've got some server rack batteries. This is a portable power station that I built that's powering this house right now where we do a remodel. You can see we just got done filling this in and putting stairs here. The stairs were here, had to move them over. As we remodel this house, we're using this to power it. So each of these batteries are rated for 100 amps of continuous output. So it takes 2 server rack batteries to have the same output as this one battery. And these ones each weigh 100 pounds each, and this one's 8. So golf carts take a lot of power when you're climbing mountains, and so you need this 200 amp BMS. Where these, for a home power system, 100 amp BMS is plenty good, and you need more capacity, so these work good in that application. I actually thought about putting these in my golf cart, but they're not made for that bumpity bump, and I would have to put both of them in there in order to power my golf cart. So you gotta love golf cart batteries. They're made for the application. So I'm really excited about this 200 amp BMS. As you can see in this 6-seater here, we've got the big battery Husky 2 in here. Now this is a great battery. It's around 100 pounds. And it's got a 150 amp continuous BMS. And so this battery will actually power out on us when we're going uphill sometimes. Let's see how this is gonna fit in here. This golf cart had 400 pounds of lead acid batteries in. I actually recycled those a while ago. They were good batteries too. That's how much I despise lead acid batteries. I've been using them for years and years and years, but I'll actually take perfectly good lead acid batteries and just take them to the recycler because there's too much hassle. I just love the lithium, no maintenance, and you can climb mountains. The lead acid, you can't climb mountains, so they're worthless to me. So this was a resistor cart, and I converted it to solid state. I actually have a step-by-step video that shows you exactly how to do that. Had the resistors here, ripped those all out. You had your V-Glide, that's gone. It's all been replaced with solid state controller, which gives you a lot more room in here to put that battery. Time to see how this fits in there. I really like this blue color on this. It just matches this golf cart so well. I also like how it's so light. Nice 80-pound battery. There you go. Too tall to go that way. Could fit like that, possibly. But this is actually where I want to put it, is back like this. This is how a lot of people are putting their batteries in these. When you get those resistors out of there, and that centers it for weight. Oh, got enough room for the motor there. Yeah, that should work. I like that. It'll work just fine. This golf cart is 91. In order to fit a battery in here, that Husky 2 I showed you earlier was actually what I put in here. But when I first put it in here, this was actually a resistor cart still. And it had the resistors up in here, had the V-Glide down in here. Since then, it's been converted to solid state, and I actually have a video showing how to do that on this one as well. But I built it up with these boards, and I put the battery right here. So that battery would go right in here easy. As you can see, I had to build the seat up higher in order to fit the battery. So the reason I switched to solid state, 2 reasons. I wanted to climb mountains, and I was tired of my golf carts lighting on fire. As you can see here, there's all burnt there because the resistors are right here. They got hot enough. This plywood actually caught on fire. I had to stop and dump water on it. So if you want to keep your resistors, you can put them actually over here. You can move them from the back there, put them over to here, because pulling all those lead acid batteries out, you got a lot more room in here to work with. I'm going to plug in this display screen. See how this battery's doing. Now it's going to have just one way it can go in, just like that. That's nice. Ooh, nice lockdown. Keep that in tight. I like that. 72%. Sweet. That's actually fairly high for a battery in storage. Usually when I get them, they're like 50%. Get your voltage, percentage, and it's got that there as well. You go into the app if you really want to look at some details in there. That's pretty sweet. So look at this. That is going to fit just perfect right in here. That's where it's going. Got the board all installed. I cut this board right here. And I drilled these holes, put these carriage bolts in, and put screws in right there. And that thing is good and solid. Now this is fire treated ply. I had some, so I used it. You don't necessarily need fire treated because these lithium iron phosphate batteries are so stable. They don't catch on fire. They're not like the lithium ion batteries. Let's see how it fits. Pull that down before it goes in. There we go. Just right. Let's wire this bad boy up. So we got positive going to the solenoid. Put that on there. And also our positive for our charger. I like to hand snug these instead of using an impact or anything, because I like to feel that tightness like that. Perfect. Find the negative lead right there. Got it strapped down good and solid. Some of the batteries these days actually come with straps to strap them down. Here's the battery charger, and we're actually gonna put that right here and pull this over. Since we've got a lithium battery here and it is a straight out 48 volts, there is no way to hook up your 12 volt accessories on here. With the lead acid, you hook it to 2 batteries, that gives you 12 volts. But with this, you got to use a drop down converter in order to connect your 12 volt appliances to your battery. I'm not going to wire one in because I don't have any lights or any 12 volt accessories on this golf cart yet. As you can see here on the 6-seater, I've got a drop down converter mounted right down here. Time to install the display. Now I want to put it right here. So we need to drill a hole back here, probably right there. Hook that connector in there. Pull it down through here. Gonna run it along here and up into the battery box. Just have to put some zip ties on there. Push all that extra down in. I was going to put some double stick tape on here, but I'm not going to because I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this here or not. But it'll stay pretty good without it. The cable is definitely plenty long. You can put that display anywhere you want it to. Let's plug it in. Let's try the battery charger. I've got a inverter hooked up to the battery on this golf cart because it's got so much solar it can charge everything. Let's plug this in. Yeah, I don't know if you see it on the camera, but it is actually charging. It's got an indicator on there when it's charging. Tells you how many amps and that it's charging. Hear the fan on that charger. So that all works like it should. So I have not hooked my solar panel into this battery yet because I'm waiting for a DC disconnect that I have ordered. When that gets here, I'll hook all that up and run it down into here. But until then, that battery charger is the only way we have to charge this. Yep, got power. It works. Now we're gonna go up the mountain. Here we are up on top of the hill, which we call the V-Glide Destroyer because this road right here is a mile coming up and it's destroyed 4 V-Glides coming up this mountain. So I do not have the app installed on my phone yet because my phone has too many apps on it. I'm going to delete some things on my phone, put the app on, and we're going to have the app when we drive out on our drive. So for my real world testing, I like to drive out this way. It's uphill and it really tested them good. There's some rough roads. Currently right now, there is a fire burning out there called the Grapevine Fire, and that has burned 26,000 acres, and it's only like 41% contained, so we really can't drive out there now. But we want to actually drive this golf cart around for a while before we do that road test. So probably a couple weeks before that road test goes on my channel. So when we drive out, we're going to have the app, we're going to have stats on the screen, miles per hour and all that kind of stuff, so that we can just geek out and see what this battery can do. I'd like to thank Weize so much for sending out this battery. I do love a good lithium battery and to test them. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.